Several hours to the east of Casablanca and high above the markets of Marrakesh lies a unique, untouched and beautiful landscape, Morocco's Atlas Mountains. They stretch more than 1,600 miles from the Atlantic Ocean all the way to Tunisia's Mediterranean coast. North of the mountains to the seas, there are rolling hills and lush farmland. To the south, Africa's vast Sahara Desert begins. There are several parallel ranges in the Atlas, but these snow-capped peaks, part of Morocco's high Atlas, are among Africa's tallest. This one, Mount Toubkal, rises to over 4,100 meters, more than 2.5 miles high. It's one of the tallest on the continent. The local residents here, the Amazigh or the Berbers, are the original inhabitants of North Africa. Of Morocco's 33 million residents, at least 1/3 speak a dialect of Tamazight, the Berbers' unique language. Like Arab Moroccans, most Berbers are Muslim, but their identity and heritage, from art to clothing to music, is unique. For the Berbers of Morocco's high Atlas, life in the mountains has always been about survival. Even far below the summits, winter times on these mountains can be extremely cold. There are few roads here. Most Berbers use mules to navigate the steep inclines. Many local residents measure distance by how long it takes them to walk to places. 3 hours, sometimes 3 days. There are few places to buy food or clothing here. So, rather than make shoppers come to the markets come to them. This is the Souk Khamis, or Thursday market, held each week in Ouiagan, a small lakeside village at the base of the high Atlas. It moves to a different town each day of the week. Rashid Sultan is a local trekking guide. He comes here to buy fruits and vegetables.
Because normally every week there is a market, which is a souk. And then every day, so they move from the village to other village, from the town to the other town.
It's not exactly Africa's most bustling market, but in this town, home to just dozens of families, the souk is one of the most important cultural events of the week. Each Thursday, vendors come early. They hoist their tents, set up makeshift stalls, and haul their wares out onto the muddy square. There's nothing you can't get here. Tangerines, winter coats, even second-hand shoes. This man, Abdallah, rode his trusty mule from a village over 5 kilometers away to sell salt. The souk is also a place to socialize, to see old friends of our shared bowl of stew, or perhaps fresh fish, buttered, deep-fried, and like everything else here, sold by weight. Shoppers plan carefully and stock up, because tomorrow the market will be gone until next week. Still, residents say they prefer the simplicity of life in the mountains.
It's better than city, because in city there's a lot of noisy and a lot of cars also, pollution. But here is nice because it's quiet, fresh air, and also nice to be in the Atlas Mountains.
But traveling markets can only go so far. Just a short drive from the Ouiagan, high into the Atlas, the road ends. The mountains are dotted with tiny Berber villages built into the side of the rock. For most, electricity and running water are modern luxuries that came within the past decade. Up here, far from the markets, villagers have to be self-sustainable. They grow their own food, raise sheep, And in this community, women weave carpets with modern designs that tell an age-old story of the Berber heritage in Morocco. 48-year-old Fatima Amehan has been making carpets by hand since she was just a young girl.
It's an art. The best carpets in the world can be found in Morocco. Our grandmothers were making carpets before us. Carpets are still carpets, but we're trying to make them better than our families did in the past.
Making carpets in the High Atlas hasn't changed much over the years. A base layer of string is tied to a large wooden loom. Women use wool from local sheep. Inside, they start to weave. First some yarn, then tie a layer of cotton cloth strips. Pack it down with a heavy comb and repeat. The white can later be colored with vegetable dyes. The women weave at least 4 hours a day. It can take 4 women 10 days to make one medium-sized carpet. But Fatma says doing it the old way, by hand, is the best way.
We make carpets ourselves because you know the quality is better. There are a lot of carpets in the market, but anything you make by your own hand is much better than what you can find in a market.
Bigger loops make for bigger carpets, which means better protection against the cold. But these rugs aren't just for keeping warm. Weaving is a central part of the Berber culture and identity. Traditionally, bright, colorful rugs are laid out for guests during celebrations. They're made of earth tones, red, brown, and orange. Different geometric designs are woven depending on the occasion and to signify which village they are made in.
Our culture is unique because we still respect it and keep it as it was before. We try to make it better, but we don't change it. Keeping our customs and traditions in terms of clothing, in terms of everything.
Fatima started this carpet making collective in 2006. She did it to empower the women of Ait Suka. There are around 20 women who work here. Each can earn around $100 a month selling carpets. Saida Ait Hissi thinks sewing machines could help them make carpets faster and, of course, earn more money.
I'm thinking about the future. I'd like to learn more about how to use machines and how to make this with technology.
Not Fatima, though. She's been making carpets the same way for 40 years, and she doesn't see that changing anytime soon. Up next, see how Morocco's Berbers are turning their High Atlas hideaway into a popular escape for tourists, and trek up the slopes of North Africa's tallest mountain. Stick around.